Look, we're stuck in the system, we can't get out. It's time for a change, stop running your mouth. I'm looking for words, but I can't get it out. Look for the light, but the sun blotted out.
Hold on, let me hop on the beat. Cause social injustice and prisoner mindset is something we gotta defeat. We idle these hoes and wear all these clothes with shoes that can't be creased. Steady looking for substance and change, but we searching all up in these streets.
Got a stain on my shirt that I can't get out. My people on high like the top of the mount. We thirsting for truth, but there's no spout. Look for a savior, but no one around.
But no one's around, but where do they look? It ain't in the church, it ain't in the book. We can't get a job, so we rather crook. They got us in chains, a fish on a hook.
Look, harvesting not bodies, harvesting not organs. Got them real big mad, cause they culture boring. Pimping the poor, Jim Crow at the door. Selling our souls, our daughters a whore. I wanna give in, can't take it no more. Don't wanna believe our people are more.
We swept our cup when we look at decline. We got a new bottle, it's filled with...
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another MACM Culture Move podcast, where we cover everything from intense social topics to funny social trends. I'm your host, Mark Jonathan.
G.
And as always, we have a wonderful segment for you all today. But before we get started, if we can have our brief disclaimer.
So here on the MACM podcast, we cover many topics. Some happen to be, controversial sometimes. Today, we might have a controversial topic for y'all. But with that being said, we just ask that if something that we're talking about here disturbs you, or you feel some type of way, or you feel conflicted, evaluate that. Think about it. Think about why you feel some type of way, and then hit us up and we can talk about it, because technically we are the experts, and that's why y'all come to us to have these discussions. But with that being said, welcome to the MACM Culture Move podcast, and I hope y'all are ready for today's show, because we got some stuff to talk. What if they were white? Just right there. What if they were white? What if they were white in this situation that happened with a black person? So we got some real life situations that happen for y'all. And just some things that we want to highlight and shed some light on. So I'm ready. Let's go.
Absolutely. We do not intend to incite anything like that. We're just shining light on these situations. You feel me? Just to throw that out there. But to start off, it's actually something that G introduced to me. So we got Purvis Pain.
Purvis Pain, right? Y'all.
And you seen this off of TikTok, right?
I'm seeing this off of TikTok, y'all. Innocent black man. It's crazy because it's just stuff like this makes me wonder how many black men are in jail innocently. Like, how many of them are serving years or life sentences, death sentences for crimes that they absolutely 100% did not commit.
Right. Definitely blows my mind. But we're going to go ahead and tap into this. Oof. Oh.
Mommy! Spain is currently on death row for a crime he more than likely did not commit. And
I gotta refresh it.
In this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. Unless you're Purvis Pain, then you're guilty with proof of innocence. Purvis Pain is currently on death row for a crime he more than likely did not commit. And I find it disturbing that the police would even tell him, "You think you're black now? Just wait until we fry you," during his interrogation. Purvis had no priors, but they called him an animal. Said he was in a drug-fueled frenzy with no evidence, and they didn't test him. Withholding, losing, won't allow or won't test DNA evidence. Constitutionally, Purvis Pain should not even be on death row. With his proven intellectual disability, Shelby, Tennessee has a history, and if they can't have strange fruit, they'll put your ass in the chair. In 25 days, April 9th, they're going to proceed with a modern-day lynching. They're going to put him to death. All over our social media, we need to use the hashtags Purvis Pain, Justice for Purvis. Make a video bringing awareness. If you can't share this, do edit, stitch it. Stand with me and MLK III, calling for clemency for Purvis Pain. In this country, they'll tell you you're innocent until proven guilty. Unless...
Okay, so just jumping into that, right? Hashtag Purvis Pain. We doing it. Definitely make sure we get that. But just some more information on them. Man, that's crazy. April 9th, just to repeat, April 9th is when they will proceed to lynch this man. Well, modern days lynching. April 9th. That is coming up very soon. Very soon. So my screen is still sharing, right, G?
What'd you say?
My screen is still sharing, right?
Yep. I got you. I'll read. So,
Awesome.
we got from CNN, evidence in the case of a Tennessee man who was sentenced to death 3 decades ago can be tested for the first time for DNA, a judge ruled this week. Purvis Payne, who has been on death row for 32 years, is scheduled for execution in December. So they moved it. He received 2 death sentences after he was convicted in 1988 of 2 counts of first-degree murder for the June 1987 stabbing deaths of 28-year-old Sharice Christopher and her 2-year-old daughter in the Memphis suburb of Millington. Payne was also convicted of assault with intent to commit first-degree murder of Christopher's 3-year-old son, who survived. Payne, 53, maintains that he is innocent and went into Christopher's apartment after hearing a cry for help. According to court documents, he said he pulled the murder weapon, a butcher knife, from her neck, the documents say. He is represented by the Innocence Project, a national group of attorneys and investigators that often uses new DNA evidence to exonerate their clients. However, in the court's view, the petitioner has established a reasonable probability he would not have been convicted of first-degree murder had exculpatory evidence been presented to the jury. Shelby County Criminal Court Judge Paula Sakan wrote in her ruling granting Payne's motion requesting DNA analysis. Following Wednesday's ruling, Vanessa Potkin, director of post-conviction litigation at the Innocence Project and a member of Payne's legal team, said in a statement that Sakan's decision was thoughtful and reasoned. When DNA evidence exists in a death penalty case, as it does here, it should always be tested to avoid the irreversible act of executing an innocent man.
Come on now. Come on, let me just stop sharing.
So
this was crazy.
Yeah, this was like, and it's crazy because you think about, okay, so let's take this back, right? To more than just Purvis Payne. You look back to before DNA analysis was a thing. Like, DNA analysis changed the game for convictions, right? Because it's like, but I got your DNA. You can't tell me you wasn't there or it wasn't you when this is your DNA, right? So DNA analysis changed the game. So you think of all these people who are in jail, there was no DNA proof because DNA analysis wasn't a thing, and they just fit the description or was in the wrong place at the wrong time or anything like that. It sucks. It sucks for them. And it's like, I feel like every single case that deserves a DNA analysis in a time where DNA analysis wasn't around needs to be re-brought up, and we need to test that DNA, because it's not fair to black men like Purvis Payne, who in his case, from what it seems like, was just being a good citizen, a loving neighbor.
Right. Nah, I mean, I had to Google this real quick, but the first introduction of using DNA evidence in convicting a criminal was in 1986. That means they've been able to analyze that type of stuff since 40 years ago almost. This man supposedly committed this crime in 1987, which is a year after
88.
DNA.
87.
Okay, which is a year or two after DNA analysis. Why?
Which means they don't care to
exonerate nobody.
Yeah. They
It's
don't care to give us fair treatment. It's fair treatment. We get fair treatment from the jump. Innocent men wouldn't have to serve 3 decades in jail. And then on top of that, though, be sentenced a death sentence to be executed for something you didn't do. That's the part, right?
to even be imprisoned for something you didn't do, especially when you was trying to help, because then now that puts him in the mindset of, okay, next time I hear some cries for help, I'm just not even gonna go.
And
Like,
that's
why
what's
would
scary.
you?
That's because, like, the thing is, we want to get back to that sense of community. And it's scary to get back to that sense of community when the system works so prevalently against us. Because we can't be that loving neighbor that just, when we hear a cry of distress, checks up to see what's going on. It's like we can't be. Because if we walk into a situation, you feel me? Just being Black already makes you guilty. It already incriminates you. Already. Just being Black. So it's like, that's why that stay in your lane and mind your business, it's a contradiction with getting back to a sense of community. You can't stay in your lane and mind your business if you want to get back to a sense of community. You have to put yourself in a position where you're inserting yourself in somebody else's business. Because that's community. That's what community is. It's looking out for one another. It's making sure that, so if you hear a cry of distress, you hear clearly abuse going on, what do? Are you supposed to intervene and try to help and risk being put in a worse situation or making matters worse? Or do you mind your business and risk something happening to somebody and you could have prevented it? It's contradicting.
For sure. But now this leads us to our main discussion, which is the topic for today, is what if they were white? And, we asked this question kind of rhetorically, but because I feel like we know the answer, or at least we should. But what if they were white, G? What if Purvis Payne was white?
If Purvis Payne was white, they would have looked at it more closely. They would have made sure that they had all the details and all the evidence in order before convicting. They damn for sure wouldn't have gave him life, guilty or not. I mean, or not a death sentence. Even if it would have been life, it wouldn't have been a death sentence. They wouldn't have wanted to execute the man.
I agree.
It makes me wonder because did he have a lawyer or a public defender? Because if he was white, he probably would have had a lawyer. Most Black inmates end up having a public defender because they can't afford a lawyer. That's why they say when you get arrested in the Miranda rights, you have the right to an attorney. And if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you, meaning we will give you an attorney, whoever we want to give you, whoever fits best fits your case profile, whoever doesn't have a heavy workload right now, whoever we want to give your case to. We'll probably even give it to somebody who has no educational background in your crime matter.
Or more importantly, someone who doesn't care whether or not you get off.
And most appointed attorneys don't, because their job is to get a plea deal. That's their job, is to get a plea deal, not to get you off innocently. It's to get a plea deal. That's
why the conviction rate is so high.
They want to keep conviction rates high. They want you to get a plea deal. They don't want you to be innocent. One way or another, they want you to be guilty, whether it's a part guilty or a full guilty. When you take a plea deal, you're admitting guilt. And you're giving yourself to the system for them to do whatever the hell it is that they want to do with you.
And they will. Absolutely. No, I mean, just to answer this question, just furthermore what G said, I think he would have been interviewed, questioned, and then released. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't even think he would have been imprisoned. or they would have done the DNA analysis that they already had instilled, and he would have been
Yeah,
let go.
they would have, you know, because I'm sure they were probably still testing the DNA analysis, so they would have used his case as a tester. Well, let's
Mhm.
test the DNA analysis to, you know, make sure that we have it working properly, and let's use his case to, you know, to test it and see. And it would have came back negative, usually negative. Your DNA doesn't match the crime, right? And they would have let him go.
Absolutely. But yes, again, hashtag Purvis Pain. We gotta get this. We gotta get this. Man,
Yeah.
that's crazy. April 9th is
His
coming.
execution date. Um, he's an innocent man. The thing is, they need we need the DNA analysis.
Hmm. Which, I mean, 40 years ago is much better now. So I don't understand what the
It's
holdup
much
is.
better now. I'm sure it's very simple now. And the thing is, it's got to be because um I remember when I was young in elementary school. I can't remember which elementary school. I think it's when I went to Wyatt. But I remember, you know, they had like the police and stuff come to the school and do like an activity with us where they wanted to like take our fingerprints and shit. You know, of course our parents had to sign up and give consent. And my mom, you feel me, always, hell nah. That's something I'm not gonna sign off for. My kids will not be given their fingerprints. But I remember that, right? And then I also remember when it happened with my little brother. So when they did it with us, it was just, you know, the ink pad and you put on the paper. Now it's electrical. So time changes so fastly and rapidly. There's no excuses as to why they can't get the proper evidence for these cases. There's no excuse, like absolutely none, like zero, like zero. Anything that they try to say is just that, an excuse. That's
Exactly.
it.
And they already robbed him of 32 years of his life.
How
The
old did you
least
say he
you
was?
can do is not execute him.
Like what?
That's the least they could do is not execute the man for something he didn't do.
For something he didn't do. Like, boy, to be black in America.
Man. Man. But again, you hashtag Purvis Pain. We encourage you to look more into the story. Share the hashtag, please. This man will be executed April 9th. This man will be executed April 9th for something that he did not do. Share the hashtag, please, and thank you.
Purvis Pain.
But we will be moving on to our next segment. We got social experiments. All right. So just in case you were wondering the what if they were white part, we have some social experiments set in place that shows you what would happen if they were white. So jumping into the first video. Make sure my screen is shared. Audio too, please.
Sir, what's going on?
Want more? Download the AJ Plus mobile app and join the conversation. Available in
We
your
don't care about none of that. In this video, right, it started off with the first guy who was shot multiple times in his back for carrying around a sword. a sword.
A sword. In the back,
I'm
sorry, but to shoot somebody in the back is gotta be the most cowardly thing you can do. You are a coward if you have to shoot somebody in the back. I mean, like, shoot somebody in the back, stab somebody in the back, hit somebody in the head from the back, or to attack somebody from behind. It's cowardly. I don't care how the attack comes, but to attack somebody from behind makes you a coward. You can't face me. You can't do that shit looking at me, staring me down. You have to do it behind my back to where I don't even have the feasible opportunity to defend myself.
My thing is, one, he was doing it for an anime costume.
Yeah.
And then two, the fact that you're looking at his back should tell you that there's no threat to you.
Or
like,
anybody
you're the
else.
only one that can attack. So, and the fact that he was shot multiple times, like,
that's the part that you like multiple times. What was
it's
the
intent
point?
to kill.
That's intent to kill. That's overkill.
It's ridiculous. Police are supposed to protect and serve. And, I'm going to get to the white guy in the final seconds. But the other two men that they mentioned, Andy, I forget his last name, unfortunately, and Cameron Tillman, they both had toy guns, shot with no question. And then we get to the white man that has a real rifle in his arms, clear as day. And the video says that they talked him down for 40 minutes. They talked to this man for 40 minutes while he had a firearm, a real one at that. And they said that no shots were fired and no charges were filed. But three men lose his life, one of which had a sword, and the other two had toy guns.
My favorite one to bring up is the James Holmes situation. That happened at the Aurora Century 16 movie theater.
Crazy.
Dude. Prior to shooting at the movie theater, he has a therapy session and tells his therapist that he plans on shooting up a movie theater, right? Or not those words exactly, but he plans on
doing something big.
He plans on doing something big. It's going to attack people and it's going to hurt people. He plans on being destructive and hurting others in the process. He also tells his parents, right? He tells his therapist and he tells his parents. And when you tell your therapist something like that, it's law that you have to contact authorities.
Yes, when they are harm to themselves or others, you are a fact.
You have to contact the authorities if they express any harm towards themselves or others, period. It doesn't matter what that type of harm is. They could talk about, I want to beat somebody's ass. You feel me? That harm, you're supposed to report that to authorities. We know that didn't happen. And then he told his parents. His parents are supposed to report that to his therapist and to the authorities because of his mental issue, right? That's why he was in therapy. Nobody did anything about him, so now it's preconceived, right? He thought about it, what he was going to do, put a plan together in action, and it was a fully thought out plan because he dressed up in a costume. He thought this shit out so thoroughly, so down to the T. I mean, crossed every T, dotted every I, down to the fucking costume. I mean, dyed his hair and everything.
And he set up a trap.
The movie theater.
You forgetting he set up the trap at his home for police.
Set up the trap at his home. Went to the movie theater
with rounds.
Well, they put together, trench coat down to his ankles. when it shot mothers, children, pregnant women, men,
and reloaded.
Reloaded and went another round. I mean, he had a yappa.
Man.
Aired that bitch out twice. Twice, not once, but twice. Got escorted out and took into Burger King. So that's what if they were white. If they were white, they would get
their life
treated to Burger King.
Their life.
They get their life. They get the opportunity to explain why they did what they did. They get the opportunity to plead mental insanity.
Avoiding
they
prison.
Get the opportunity to hear their mother's voices again. And to hear somebody tell them, I still love you.
And he committed a crime. Like, let's make that clear. He committed a crime, almost an act of terrorism. Had he been another skin color,
that's the thing, because it is an act of terrorism.
Man.
But because he was white, that's not how they look. Had he had been anything else, Black, Mexican, Asian, Iranian,
Middle Eastern, yeah.
African, Brazil, it doesn't matter. Had he had been anything else, it would have been considered an act of terrorism, and they would have been shutting the entire state down. But he was white. He got escorted to Burger King.
That's sad. That's sad. Man. Even the dude that I believe he shot up Walmart, he was escorted out.
Escorted out? I mean, walked out.
Literally.
Broad daylight. That's the thing that like broad daylight type of incidents. Like, they not being sneaky about it and doing it after hours. You know, they say freaks come out at night. Nah. They do this when the sun is out. When it's supposed to be safe outside, the sun is supposed to give that illusion of safety. It's daylight hours. Ain't nothing gonna go down. I'm safe. But you can't even.
It's real sad.
It's disheartening, you know, because it's like, how. And it's crazy to me because, you know, white people are always screaming how they want equality and change. And if they, you know, they're not racist and all of this, when it's like, but let's look at the facts, right? Let's pull up the scoreboard. Let's go back to the charts, right? Let's reevaluate this, and let's actually look at the tally board. White people have been committing active terrorists since they stumbled upon America.
Absolutely.
And before then as well. But in America, they have been committing acts of terrorism since they stumbled upon it. And they not found, but stumbled upon. Because they was already here. People was living here. Living great. Living great. In peace and unity and love and all that Native American beauty. Living amazing, right? And then here comes Christopher Columbus. Trip, fell, hit his head, and stumbled upon America on account of his black captain that was sailing the boat, right? Because he was black. It was a black man that was steering that big rig, right?
Man.
They've been committing active terrorism since then, but never once have been seen as terrorists.
And just to your point about how the white people claim they want equality, there's a quote that says, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing." What that means is, evil will continue to triumph, and you can't just, it's that bystander effect almost. You know, the feeling of whether not doing nothing or thinking someone else is going to do something. Now, the only thing stopping the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. It's not, if you're not uncomfortable with our discomfort, you are doing nothing. Just because you are not lashing us yourself, you are still allowing it to happen. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. That's a crazy quote to me.
That's a deep quote. That's deep.
Crazy.
And it's like,
and that's a white man that said that. Let me add that.
Yeah, it's like, white people think they're doing something and changing the world by dating Black and marrying Black and having Black kids, when that's not the answer. Actually, you're hurting more than you're helping, right? You're more of a hindrance more than a help me hand. The best way white people can help is by doing nothing. That is the best way that white people can help. Because you try to help and it makes it worse. I haven't seen it get better by the help of white people.
Telling you, it's really up to us to help ourselves. If you're gonna help, tell your peers to educate themselves.
Be delegated.
We're the first humans, because that's really it. Ignorance is such a powerful misuse tool. Like, it's crazy. If people were just educated, so many things, and if people allowed themselves to be educated, because it's not like the knowledge isn't nowhere to be found.
It's there.
You know, you could tell a person that the original people were Black and they'd almost laugh at you. It's like they have this misconception that white people are so pure and whatever else they want to say that they forget. And then I've heard somebody say, oh, why did God create multiple races? He created the human race. Y'all created this division. He created the human race.
And
I believe it was a Black woman first too, to add that, and then that's who we put down the most.
Always preach on that one. The Black woman, but it's like white people are so hypocritical. And so we always talk about, our Black babies grow up without their fathers, right? But that it didn't start like that. Our families were, it was the Black woman and the Black man and the babies. And then here we have slavery, and we have massa raping and taking advantage of the Black woman, impregnating her, and doing what with the child? Abandoning it, neglecting it, not being a father to that child. So it's like, society always loves to shed light on the deadbeat Black man and the deadbeat Black father. But where's all the fathers to those babies from our ancestors who were raped? All masters' babies. You feel me? Masters used to rape almost all their female slaves. You have some who raped almost all of them. You have some who took a nice handful and only raped a handful. You have some who took just that one. Regardless of how many master raped, he didn't take care of none of those babies. that came from the rape. But no one talks about that. No one talks about the deadbeat white dads and how they'll impregnate and just leave. That's where that abandonment first comes from. The single motherness of a woman comes from. So then you have that happening. You also have the black men being beaten out of the home, sold out of the home, killed out of the home.
Yeah. Man. But that kind
I just had to shine light on that real quick, because I'm honestly like I'm at a point where I'm so sick and tired of society bashing black men, the fathers especially. I know a lot of good fathers, black ones, a lot of good black fathers who, because they are black, get bashed simply because they don't even, people don't even care to hear the dad side of the story. They don't even care to hear the dad side of the story, because it all comes down to what mom has to say. I don't even care about the dad side of the story. Where's the fairness in that?
Absolutely. It's ridiculous. But that brings us to our second social experiment, which is around kind of the same thing. The video will explain, but this is another black man doing literally exactly as the white man was doing, but we'll see the difference here.
We talk often on the program about, theoretically, how an open carry advocate would be treated incredibly different if he was white or if he was black. And we hypothesize about this. Some open carry activists decided to actually test it. And these two videos you're going to see back to back show the different ways that police actually respond to these open carry advocates. Let's watch.
How you doing, sir? Hey, howdy. Can I see your IDs? No, sir. No. Why not?
Because I don't have to. I'm not doing any crime.
Okay. Any particular reason why you're carrying the AR, especially around this point?
I'm just exercising my right.
I understand that, but is there a reason why you're doing it?
I just want to walk around.
Oh, of course.
He pulled out the gun. He's getting down. The gun. He's just walking up and carrying.
I do not consent to any search and seizure of my property. So we're just gonna ask you. Is weapon real or is it it's an AR-15?
They're taking his weapon.
So you see a very different response to the two. One has a very cordial conversation with a cop who, as many of the news reports are depicting it as, I was able to find on the man in the second video. His name is Gabriel Nobles. He originally uploaded it to YouTube 2 years ago. So that video has been around for a while, and it apparently happened in Washoe County, Nevada. Now, Marked Guardian, who is the gentleman in the first video, the white guy, the white guy, I don't know his actual name, but he's Marked Guardian. He also, like Gabriel, has been putting up these videos where they walk around with their guns for at least a year or two. And so they're in different areas of the country. It's entirely possible that Marked Guardian, who has been doing this for a while and is in a smaller town, it's possible that the police officers recognized him. And so perhaps that's why they were being more polite. It's also possible that Gabriel, something that happened off camera could have set them.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of throw in that last part just so we can hear some of the excuses that they tried to make for this scenario. But to me, it's point blank, period. It was an open carry license, and you could see from literally when the police made contact with both individuals. In the white guy, he stopped him. Do you have your ID? He said, no, sir. He said, why can't I have it? He said, because I'm exercising my constitutional right. He's correct in that. He has that. He asked any particular reason why you're carrying an AR-15. He says, just exercising my right. And if you find the video, which just search up white man versus black man social experiment on guns. and it will pop up. The entire video, the police eventually just walks away, or he drives away technically, and then he's able to continue walking. With the black man, as soon as they make contact with this man, he orders him on the ground, gun drawn. And then if you watch the rest of that video, he then makes the woman get on the ground. The woman that was recording, he makes her get on the ground as well. And then you hear the guy on the ground saying, "I don't consent to any search or seizures of me or my weapon." And what's the first thing the cop does? He tells her, "Oh, just relax, buddy." Takes his AR-15, proceeds to go in his pockets looking for ID, that type of stuff.
Violating all his rights.
But in the first video, the white dude tells him, "Nah, I don't consent to giving you my ID." He brushes that off.
Drops it.
Goes right into the gun. "Oh, well, why do you have this?" "Well, it's my right. I can open carry." That's the thing. Open carry license is just that. You can openly carry as long as the firearm is legal in that state or city, however it works. You can openly carry. And I guess the fact of the matter is, and really the point of this topic, is we see exactly what would have happened if the dude was white. All it would have taken was a simple question. You don't even have to ask because it's an open carry state.
Because you know.
You really don't even have to stop and question them. But if you feel entitled to go up and question this man, why not do just as the first officer did? "Oh, do you have your license?" "No, you don't want to give it to me." "Okay, you're well within your right. You're not committing a crime." Any reason you have an AR-15?
I'm exercising my right.
And then it's leaving. Nothing more needs to be said. Nothing more needs to be done. We see clear as day what would have happened if he was white.
They'll never treat us the same.
It's crazy.
In any situation, like they'll never treat us equal. They'll never see us as equal. We will never be equals to a lot of them, right? Because slavery was not that long ago. So, and white people tend to live into their 80s and 90s, where black people die in the early 60s, and prayerfully they make it to the 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like some of them still have family members who just died recently, or think of like our parents' generations, our parents' generation people, they still had living members who had that thought or that concept that black people are only 3/5 of a man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still being taught to some white families through their ancestors. You feel me? This is what it was. Black people are that's not what they're calling us in their homes when they're teaching it to their children, but we're still 3/5 of a man. Some of them don't even see us as whole.
Man.
So they don't treat us equally. They don't see us as the same. They'll always find ways to tear us down in every aspect possible. Like, there's no reason why both situations couldn't have been handled the exact same. And I wonder why we don't have respect for the police. That's why there's so many F the police songs. You never heard the F the firefighter song. Love the firefighters. But the police, always doing something wrong. They don't give that protect and serve feeling that you should have. I don't know, just that part. Describing what protect and serve feels like. What does that feel like to you, Mark? Being protected and served.
That's crazy. Just to even like, man, I don't even know what to say sometimes. Cause, and especially to people who are ignorant to this fact that if they were white, it would have been a different outcome. It just like, you can just bring up some of these examples, and we're gonna get into some more, you know, throughout this time. And I also got another video I want to play at the end for you. But like I have multiple examples, and these are just mainline. I can't imagine the ones that slip through the cracks.
And these are real life examples. These ain't dictionary made up possible scenarios that we came up with in our heads and we brainstormed. These are real life historical events that have happened in the United States of North America. These are true events based on true events, real life stories.
Literally social experiments. This man risked his life for awareness of something that we already knew. But to the ignorant, but now that brings us to our next topic of demographic differences in sentencing. Man.
That's all right, man.
Man, we gonna get into it.
We already know that one though, because there's innocent black men in jail. Like there's innocent black men in jail.
Absolutely.
So that already ranks our numbers up higher, because yes, there are the ones who are not innocent. Like we have those ones, but it's the innocent ones that ranks our numbers up. That keeps us having the most incarcerated numbers in jail.
Absolutely. But this is from the United States Sentencing Commission. So they verified. You see the .gov. So for this report, and its prior two reports, see below, the commission used multivariate regression analysis to explore the relationships between demographic factors such as race and gender and sentencing outcomes. These analyses were aimed at determining whether there were demographic differences in sentencing outcomes that were statistically significant, and whether these findings changed during the period studied. All right, this is the big part that I wanted to get into. So the commission once again updated its analysis by examining cases in which the offender was sentenced during the period following the 2012 report. This new time period from October 1st, 2011 to September 30th, 2016 is referred to as the post-reported period in this publication. Oh my goodness. Also, the commission has collected data about an additional variable, violence in the offender's criminal history. The commission had previously noted was missing from its analysis, but that might help explain some of the differences in sentencing noted in this work. This report presents the results observed from adding new data. Maybe it was, okay, yeah, actually, it was right here. Black male offenders continue to receive longer sentences than similarly situated white male offenders. All right, so black male offenders receive sentences on average 19.1% longer than similarly situated white male offenders during the post-report period. Read that day. So as they had for prior 4 periods studied, the differences in sentence length remain relatively unchanged compared to the post-Gao period. All right. Man, so I'll read this one too. So black male offenders were 21.2% less likely than white male offenders to receive a non-government sponsored downward departure of variance during the post-report period. Furthermore, when black male offenders did receive a non-government sponsored departure of variance, they received sentences 16.8% longer than white male offenders who received a non-government sponsored departure or variance. All right, I'll finish. In contrast, there was a 7.9% difference in sentence length between black male and white male offenders who received sentences within the applicable sentencing guidelines range, and there was no statistically significant differences in sentence length between black male and white male offenders who received a substantial assistance departure. What this means in layman's terms, because I know our people are visual. We have this right here, right? Just read the top first. Same crime, same courtroom, same judge, same day, and different results.
Both armed robbery, no contested plea.
The same amount of points. And this white man gets 2 years in county jail. And this man is sentenced to 26 years in prison.
Wow.
Same crime, armed robbery.
Same courtroom.
Same judge.
On the same day. Oh, y'all don't understand. You know what's crazy, people? Let me push on to some game real quick, right? For people who, don't be having anything to do, be bored at the house, bored. What you can do, which I don't know, how courtrooms and stuff is working right now with COVID, but if the courtrooms are open, crazy thing is, what you can do, for those of you who did not know this, you can just go and sit in the courtroom. You just go and sit, literally. Like in Denver, like court opens at 8 and they go till 4 p.m. Do a lunch recess. If it's a public court and it's not anything private that's going on, and you can just walk in and sit, you can walk in and sit and just listen to people and their hearings and their cases, and just, you can just sit and listen to what's going on with people. You do not have to have any. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to be a prosecutor. You don't have to be related to anybody. If you don't have to be a juror. You're just bored and don't have anything to do, and you just want to go sit in the courtroom and find out how they do shit. I'm sure you might come across something like that. Same day, same courtroom, same judge,
same crime,
different results. And stuff like that you gotta pay attention to. Lawyer or public defender, right? Black or white, male or female. All of these things take place. I've sat, oh my God, y'all, I've sat in courtrooms from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I've done it, not because I was trying to learn about people's cases, but because I was there. I was there, so it's crazy. And
this just blows my mind.
Man, it takes me to a whole different place. It really does. It takes me to a whole different place.
Literally the same crime.
Stuff like this is what makes me an eye for an eye type of person. Like maybe it will leave the whole world blind, but hey, man. Because Lamar's family, right? Lost 21. That's young. You feel he still has a whole life to live. He still has growing up to do. He still has maturing to do. He still has learning and experiencing to do. Chase gets to go home.
And the fact that he didn't even go to prison. Like he didn't even go to for armed robbery. For armed robbery, he didn't go to prison. Instead, had only 2 years. Only 2 years for armed robbery. Where have you heard of that?
And you only have to do half of your state time, and you also get good time as well. So as long as you're in there doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you get let out early. So all of these things play a factor. When it's like, I'm sure he didn't even serve 2 years, maybe 6 months, at max a year.
Man. But it definitely, you brought up a good point though, because his lawyer probably, or the public defender, let me correct myself, probably came at him like this, like, listen, this is what you're facing, this is what they're offering. We can fight this, or this, that, and the third. You're looking at 30 years, I can offer you 26, like that.
And that's how they come at you. It's never it's never a we can fight this, and I believe you're innocent, let's get you home. It's a look. The DA said that they want to give you 40 years. I talked them down to I talked them down to tried to talk them down to 20, 10. They said 25. So they're offering you 25 years, felony plea,
man,
possible parole. And then it's like, but it's all these other things that go in and play with it, because it's like possible parole. You may or you may not get parole. The DA can say, no, we're not going to grant you a possibility of parole. Then you might have the possibility of parole. How long do you have to be on probation when you get out? All of that shit plays a factor. Man. They want to have your life in the palm of their hand for the rest of your life from the moment you plead guilty.
That's on top of the time that you was already sitting in jail waiting for sentencing.
That you were already sitting awaiting sentencing or trial. Because if you plead guilty, you still have to sit and await sentencing. And if you don't plead guilty and you plead innocent and you go to trial, you still have to sit in jail if you're denied bond, a bail. You have to sit in jail until trial.
This is crazy. They robbed this man of 10 times more than this man.
Stuff like this makes me just want to punch white people in the face for no reason.
Man, let's get into another one, because I got plenty, unfortunately.
It's a never-ending story. Woo! So this be one rape. Them rape cases with white people. White people love to rape. They love to rape.
Man. Well, we have rape of an unconscious person, 6 months. We'll just assume that that's jail time, because I doubt that's prison. And then we have rape of an unconscious person, 15 to 25 years in prison. Nobody's in jail for 15 years. That is prison time. That is prison time for certain. This is crazy.
This is crazy. It's like, boy. Oh, Jesus, y'all, they be wanting to put us underneath the jail. They be wanting to, bury ourselves all the way underneath and throw away the key.
Nah, this is crazy for sure, man. It make me sad. I'm gonna just keep it G, man. Like, these men are robbed of their life, and if they just would have been 5 shades lighter.
We have to have more of us in the court systems,
absolutely.
Yeah, we have to.
And this one, I apologize for being so small. But this is how you arrest a white man who shot 9 people. And this is how you arrest a black man for selling cigarettes.
So that's the picture of the dude who shot up the church in North Carolina. And black man's for selling cigarettes, y'all. First of all, cigarettes are legal.
Right.
Cigarettes are legal. So what the hell?
And then they put a bulletproof vest on him because they know he would be a target. Look at them protecting this man after he just shot 9 people.
Thing is, like, I just be wishing, you know, like we just have more, like, you know, if we had like a society of black hitmen, you know, like, you know, just a group of people who kept track of these type of things and had somebody on go and on site. Because a situation like that, yeah, you can put a bulletproof vest on them, but dealing with someone like me, you gonna need full body armor from head to toe, because as soon as I see you got a vest on, that vest ain't gonna save you from no
higher.
That vest ain't gonna save you from no headshot. Red dot headshot, that's a dead op. Let me tell you.
But gee, listen. I feel like they would do as they did with the Black Panther Party. You feel me? They'd get somebody with a petty crime, tell him you're looking at this amount of time, but we'll let you off if you infiltrate and then destroy this group.
And they would, because they don't want to see black people do anything successful that's us helping improve us and push us forward. And the crazy it's sad because we do have those weak-minded individuals within the community who will fall for the fuckery.
I do my time before I infiltrate something that's making my people stronger.
I'm gonna do my time. I am. It's like, and I say this coming from a place, you feel me? I've been to jail before, so it's somewhere I would definitely damn sure don't ever want to go back to. But if it ever came down to destroy my black community or sit in jail for X amount of time, I'm gonna go ahead and sit in jail for X amount of time. I don't have it in me to willfully destroy my community.
Man, like that Judas and the Black Messiah.
Especially give them to the hands of white people. That's giving my community into the hands of white people. Now, it'd be different if, you feel me, you know, it was like a black on black thing. You feel me? A black side came to me like, hey, let's just talk about what they're doing. And then let me tell you how we feel about it. And it's like, you feel maybe we should try to. Then it's black on black. And honestly, black on black is a black on black issue. And we got to deal with that within the community, whatever the black on black is. But it's up to us to deal with that. And that's our responsibility. We don't need any outside help with that. We have to deal with that internally because it's an internal issue. Right? The internal issue. So we have to deal with that internally. We don't need any outside extra help. And the thing is, we have too many weak-minded people within the community who would sell us out. Who would sell us out for no jail time, or for that get out of jail free card that the white man loves to pretend they're offering. Because it's a fake. They're never serious about it. Or a dollar amount, because black people are weak to money.
Man.
Because we have a low understanding of it, of the value of money. So we're weak to it. We see so many zeros behind a number. We're quick to jump and betray our morality for money. So and that's the sad thing. We have to unlearn those weak spots.
Absolutely. And, you know, that just made me think about that Judas and the Black Messiah. Like, he sold out the Black Panther Party that was doing so much in the community for 6 years. It's nuts. But this will be the conclusion of our podcast. Definitely a touchy subject. A lot of people are ignorant to, but glad to shine some light on it. But at this time, we'd like to ask y'all to follow all of our social media platforms. We got MACM Make a Chess Move, Make a Culture Move, Virtual Artist Storytelling, our YouTube at Make a Chess Move -MACM, our website at www.makeachessmove.org, Facebook at MACM303, Instagram at MACM303, Twitter at MACM303, and we do have a Pinterest at MACM303, but make sure to tap into our MACM virtual workshop. Well, the flyers will be out soon. Look out on our page. We got our same 3 lineup: our chess, financial literacy, and then combating the culture. Make sure to tap into that. Get your kids, your youth.
8 through 26, you feel me? So make sure we got 30 spots available, y'all. 30 spots available, 16
32.
spots for the 8 to 13-year-olds. 32 spots available. 32 spots to be available, y'all. We got what is that? 17 spots, right? No.
It might be 16 and 16.
16 and 16. I had it right the first time. 16 spots for our 8 to 13-year-olds and 16 spots for our 14 to 26-year-olds, y'all. So y'all, make sure y'all tap in with us for that. We do great things with that. We got virtual artist storytelling also coming up next as well. Cop some MACM apparel. Y'all know how we do with the MACM get down. You feel me? We dress to impress. So make sure you get you some of what we got. But thank y'all for tapping in with us. And with that being said,
y'all MACM after.